following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Hey everyone, and welcome to 50 Shades of Bullshit. I'm your host, Christine Lalonde, and this is the podcast where we uncover the truth about online dating. Now let's begin. When most people talk about the statistics of marriage, they always say 50% of marriages wind up in divorce. I think we should be saying 50% of marriages stay together and are extremely happy. How come we're not talking about the positive things when it comes to marriage? I think it's really sad that people are so jaded. I did some research today and found like 5 best ranked dating sites for marriage-minded people. And none of those sites are actually any of the ones that my guests today have found each other on. But I tried each one of them to see what the difference was, and I didn't really see any differences at all. So what I found is that it's not the sites, it's the feel that the individual person is bringing. It's the intent that the person is bringing. If they want to be in a casual relationship, a friendship, or a long-term relationship, it's the actual person that's bringing that, not the site. But on today's episode, we are talking the positive because we are talking to 3 different couples who have found each other on different sites. Each couple are either married or in a long-term relationship. Today, our guests all found their diamond in the rough. They found their needle in the haystack. And I'm very excited to talk to each couple and see what their take is on the dating sites and how it all worked for them. I'm Christine, and this is 50 Shades of Bullshit. Gabby's under the weather today, so she's unable to join us, and we're really sad about that. But what we are thrilled about is our guest co-host today, Jackie Brubaker. Jackie is an accomplished podcast host, producer, and author of That Girl, the podcast. She digs into depth interviews with people from all walks of life and self-development, relationships, dating, and how you can become that girl or that guy in your life. She is also a theatrical theater performer and has released 2 albums, and the girl is gorgeous. Hey, Jackie, welcome to 50 Shades of Bullshit.
Hey, Christine. Thank you so much for having me.
How are you?
I'm good. My cat right now really wants to be part of the podcast, so he keeps jumping all over me and moving the camera.
Gosh.
So,
my gosh.
You might have 3 co-hosts today.
I love it. I've confined my pets in the other room. Otherwise, they'd be all over me all the time.
Well,
Tell me a little about you.
Well, you just kind of summed it up. I'm a podcast host of That Girl, the podcast, which has been almost up for a year. It will be January 1st.
That's amazing.
1-year birthday. It's been doing really well. And yeah, we discuss and I'll interview people and discuss dating, relationships, self-development, really just how to be your best, most authentic self. And it's been going great. Yeah.
Well, I love that. You know, dating, when you mention, if it's in my opinion that when I mention I'm online dating or anything about dating in modern times, do you not find that everybody's super like, oh my gosh, it's the worst. Oh my gosh, it's this.
Yes, and I'm absolutely one of those people who are like, I hate this. I don't want to do this. It's the worst. It's terrible. No, it's not fun.
Well, I'm here really to do this podcast to help people, to teach them, you know, the best way to find their true authentic self, to be able to be that person for the person that's right for them, whether it be, you know, like I said, casual dating or friendship or long-term relationship.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's so hard to meet people say, you got to go online.
Exactly. Well, I'm kind of an old-fashioned girl. I'm from the Midwest and I'm very marriage minded. And I believe in love, commitment, and honesty and living your true, authentic self. And I'm in a place right now in my life that I'm looking for my life partner.
Mhm.
Are you single as well?
I am in the same boat. Yeah, I'm looking for my future husband. I've never been married. I almost got married, but I
Oh my
didn't, and
gosh.
I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah,
But
I get
no, I'm
that.
in the same boat where just, very positive, very open to receiving the right person.
Well, I've been married and unfortunately I've been divorced, but I was in a different place when I got married. I'm not the person that I am today.
Totally.
So, I understand myself now and I understand, what I don't want, what I do want to make a relationship work and to find that person to be that partner.
Mhm.
That's why I think today's show is really special to me. I'm super excited to introduce these couples. We're gonna bring on three different couples. The first one today is Brianna and Jules. They met on. You ready, folks? Are you sitting down? They met on Tinder, and
That's
when they
incredible to me.
I know. And, they met in December of 2016 when they first moved to Los Angeles, and they have been in a long-term relationship for the past 5 years. Let's welcome
Congratulations.
Brianna and Jules and talk to them.
Oh, hi.
Hi!
How's it going?
But I met Brianna and Jules at this workout club that I used to go to. Look at those beautiful faces. And I just
So
loved
pretty.
their spirit and their souls. Aren't they gorgeous?
Very pretty couple.
Thank you.
So tell me, guys, how was it like for both of you before you met each other on Tinder of all places?
Oh my God, a disaster. So many bad dating stories. Both of us, that was one of our things to do when we first met, was exchange terrible date stories through Tinder. So it's definitely pretty rare to find your Tinderella. I'll say that much.
Cinderella. Jules, what did you think? Now, weren't the both of you like moving to Los Angeles in 2016?
I'm originally from Los Angeles.
Oh, you are.
Was moving to Los Angeles to kind of start over, and whatnot, because she had a friend over there just said, "Hey, come over, come live with me." So
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Now, were both of you in the same mindset that you were looking for your person, or were you just on casually?
No, not at all. Not at all. So Joel was serious about finding a girlfriend. He had been in a lot of like short relationships that he really didn't, feel were really fulfilling to him. I had just gotten out of a long-term relationship when we first started talking. So I actually told him absolutely not. Like, I do not want a boyfriend. So yeah, definitely not.
You know what's so interesting is that both of you were not looking. And they always say when you're not looking, that's when you find them. And you went to the only app that is so for the not looking people. And then you found each other. I mean, Tinder is the app that you're like, I don't want anybody. This is for tonight only.
Thank you. Yes.
It's amazing.
I will say though, I'm on Tinder.
Oh, okay.
I know, it's
Brave.
crazy. I've recently gone on because in the past I was on for the only friendship ish thing. And I actually went back on recently because I was thinking about Brianna and Jules. And I was like, if they can do it, I can do it. And I found, honestly, everyone that I've met on there so far is not looking for just a hookup.
Right.
It's
Wow.
weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe it's turned a corner.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, you just need to put out what your true intentions are, and whatever happens from there.
That's true.
Totally.
Yeah, I agree with that. Intentions are really important. I think that I don't know what I think. What I want to hear is, Jules, when you saw Brianna for the first time, what was that like for you?
Just happiness, because I mean, she was still in Texas when we first started talking on Tinder. So she hasn't moved to LA yet. So we hadn't have a chance to actually meet. So we were talking for about a month before we actually met. And then the day she flew in, I came up and picked her up and took her out.
Gentlemen.
Oh my gosh, a gentleman. I know.
I-
Brianna, what was that like for you?
So I was convinced, again, I told him I didn't want a boyfriend. I had just gotten out of a long-term relationship. This wasn't going anywhere. Like, we could be friends. We could go on dates, whatever. That's fine. And he picks me up the first day I move out to Los Angeles, and he gets out of his car and he has a huge smile on his face. And I just look at him. I'm like, oh, damn it. Like, this is the one. Like, I can't do anything about it. Like, he has to be my boyfriend. So yeah, it was the antithesis of anything that I wanted, but it had to happen. So yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. We're both over here going, oh.
I love that. But like, you both seem to have come from a really good place of just being receptive, right? And being open-minded, and also being a little slightly closed-minded. Like, I don't really want anything.
Yeah.
But like, when you did see each other, that was like completely out the window, and you were willing to be
Completely.
flexible and go with it. I think that's really important in dating.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I knew as soon as I saw him, he was like the most handsome, and I had talked to him for a month. So like, our personalities were compatible. Like, we talked for 8 or 9 hours over the phone. We FaceTime, like we knew each other really well before we actually met. And I think that making that initial connection was really important as well.
That's huge. Yeah.
That is huge. What's it like? What's the last 5 years been like for you two?
A roller coaster?
To say the least.
Yeah.
How so?
Just change of jobs, change of location. We're homeowners, actually. So we actually bought a home last year.
Congrats.
In Texas. They moved out of LA to Texas.
Oh,
Yeah.
smart.
Yeah, so just like Joel said, an absolute roller coaster, especially the first 6 months that we were dating. We had to go through a lot of like acceptance through different people who had known us our whole lives, and they weren't exactly thrilled that we were together. And then we kind of had to make them, make sure that they knew like we were in it for the long term. So, but then
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Things
You
happen.
look like perfectly nice people. What's going on that we don't know about?
Well, so I'm like, like a good Texan girl from Houston, and he's like a nice Jewish boy from LA. And so like, our families didn't exactly like see eye to eye necessarily. So we definitely had to kind of cross that bridge. And then family. Yeah, absolutely. And then we moved to Texas, and like Joel said, we bought a house, which was really stressful. Pandemic, which has also been really stressful. Lots of job changes. So yeah, it's been quite the adventure, but I wouldn't do it with anybody else. Like, he's my best friend.
Oh, that's amazing to hear, quite frankly, because I know a lot of people didn't survive in their relationship through pandemic. They realized that not only could they not live with themselves, but they couldn't live with their partner. And the two of you got stronger, and that's a testament to the people that you are. And, quite frankly, your families, they should be proud of the two of you and how far you've come. I think that you complement each other perfectly.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks.
Well, I'm kind of biased. I love you guys.
So it's funny, Christine met us during the honeymoon phase. So we were like so in love, like just like almost like newlyweds. When Christine first met us, we've definitely calmed down since.
I mean, I would hope so. That's exhausting. The honeymoon phase is exhausting.
So tiring, yeah. But we were attached at the hip. So now we actually have our own personalities and lives, which is good.
Well, I think that's important that people understand that you do go through certain stages, that honeymoon stage doesn't live on forever. But if you take the moments that's made those incredibly special and keep them, the romance, the affection, the commitment, and the communication, if you keep those throughout, even when the honeymoon stage starts to fade, I think you can really do well. And you two are a testament to that. I think it's gorgeous. So where are you guys now in your life? Are you moving forward in any way? Are you just you like just living together? What's up? What's going on, Jewel?
No, I definitely want to propose. I definitely want to move forward. I don't want to let her go. So I'm just waiting for the right opportunity.
Oh gosh, it's so soon. It's coming so soon.
Well,
He's
Jewel,
just like,
just
don't
call
pressure
me
me.
because I'm the queen of knowing how to propose the proper way. Because I'm going to tell you something, Jewel. Women have to have a story.
Oh, that's
Everybody in the
true.
world asks the
So
woman,
true.
"What's the story? How did you get
Absolutely.
proposed to? What happened?" So if you need help, hun, I'm here.
I appreciate it. I'll reach out.
He's got this whole plan. He won't tell me. Of course, he won't tell me anything. He's not supposed to tell me
Oh,
anything.
no.
But I'm like, have you even thought about it? He's like, you don't even know. He's like, you have no idea. So
I have no doubts that he will be amazing. And you guys want to have a family together, or are you not into
Most
having
definitely.
children?
absolutely. Yeah, we
Oh.
definitely want to have. I mean, I'm 32, so I don't know if we're gonna have like one, maybe two kids max, but we definitely want a little family. We have like two cats and a dog, so we have our little fur family right now, which is great.
Aw.
But definitely want kids in the future for sure.
Well, I think you guys will make incredible parents, and I'm really proud of how the two of you have grown so much. You met in your 20s on Tinder in Los Angeles, of all places, of all things, and I think that you should be proud of the people you are, but the people you are together. I think what you have is really beautiful, and
Thank you.
I'm impressed. And I've been there, done that, but the problem is that I didn't pick my jewel, Brianna. I didn't pick my jewel. My jewel's still out there somewhere.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
He is.
You saw that, and that's gorgeous. I love it.
They come to you when you least expect it. They come to you when
Totally.
you don't want them.
When you're loving your life, you're like, I'm good. This is
Yeah.
nice.
Exactly.
Well, I think I found, through the years after my divorce, that I had to find out who I was. And you brought a tear to my eye. I got to wipe my tears. I had to find who I was and be happy with me. And I think that we hit that at different stages of our lives.
Definitely.
My best advice, being someone who's been married, is just don't let the romance go. Hold hands, always kiss her. Jewel, tell him how amazing he is. When you love and respect each other, always don't let that spark go away, because everyday life can be stronger sometimes than people's love.
Definitely.
And I just want your love to last for a lifetime. So that's my advice to you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love that.
That's what I learned. I wish I'd had that in my marriage. Unfortunately, I did not. I learned that after. So now I'm locked and loaded.
It's all good. It's all good. We all have
Do you have
different.
anything for them, Jackie, before we let them go?
I think the biggest thing that I've learned and also just heard so many people in long-term marriages say is that you just respect each other. Don't well, there's a big thing too, and like obviously there are studies on this, but like don't ignore each other's bids for affection, attention, whatever. If you say, "Wow, the sky is so blue today," and then the other person doesn't respond like, "Oh yeah, it is," or something, that's a bid. The sky is blue. Tell me something back. That has been proven to actually break people up if you don't give the respect of a reply.
Mhm.
It's so easy to, right?
Yeah.
Even if you're in a bad mood, you just be like, yeah, it is. Like, how hard is that? But, just the respect
that.
towards each other, and never forgetting that, like, you're two individuals who deserve respect as humans, but also the entity is the commitment, right? Your relationship is this living, breathing entity, and you have to just like together, like you are a team. Like we really are a team, and that entity is precious. So just having respect for each other, and I love like not letting go of the romance. That's huge,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Absolutely. I love
Well,
that.
the smiles on your faces and the energy that we get from the two of you today, I really have no doubts about the two of you.
No doubt.
And I knew that from the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely.
And honestly, I can't thank you enough for coming on the show today.
Yeah, of course.
in these talk show podcasts and all these things about dating, we tend to focus on the negative, focus on the fixing, focus on, what's bad or what's crazy. And I really want to focus on what's the positive and what's beautiful about it. And finding your person is what's beautiful. And look at the two of you. I'm so impressed.
Congrats, Tinder.
Tinder.
Tinder success story.
Well, the guy that I met recently, who I'm very interested in, who it's going extremely slow and it's teaching me patience, is from Tinder. So we'll see.
Awesome.
Hey,
Amazing.
I have no patience. That's my problem.
you're learning.
I want it now.
Yeah.
But thank you, Jewel. Thank you, Brianna, for being here today.
Of course.
I can't thank you enough.
Of
You guys,
course.
best of luck
Bye,
forever.
guys.
Stay in touch.
Okay,
Will do.
bye.
Bye. So aren't they cute?
They're so cute. So
I
sweet.
want to be them.
I know. Let's start back over. Let's just be
Right?
them.
I'm gonna reincarnate as Brianna next time. So we have another couple. Our next couple is Randy and Jessie, and these two are very, very special to me. They have a very special place in my heart. I was their wedding coordinator when they got married in April of 2014.
Aww.
So I've known them a long time. Randy and Jessie met on Plenty of Fish in 2011.
Wow.
And this last October 27th was their 10-year anniversary of meeting in person.
No.
So they are 10 years together, 7 years married with 2 children. Let's welcome Randy and Jessie. Hi.
Hey.
Look at those two.
Hello.
I know. I love you guys so much.
We love you.
How are you?
We're good.
Well,
You're
thank you for
awesome.
coming today. I appreciate the support. You guys have always been very supportive of all my endeavors.
I don't know what you're
We love
talking
you.
about. Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
So, Jessie and Randy, y'all met 10 years ago now.
Yeah.
You're blissfully married.
Yeah, and we met, and we didn't know this at the time, but Plenty of Fish was also, I don't know if it is still, but it was like a hookup site, and neither of us were on there for that purpose either.
Oh
So
my
we
God.
had no idea
That's
that
the
was
trick.
also a hookup site at the time, right?
That's the trick.
That's
So,
crazy.
what was your dating experience like, Jessie, before you met Randy?
I've been in a lot of long-term relationships, and I had just gotten out of a 5-year relationship about 6 months before I met Randy. So I
As a
did
rebound.
Yeah, she was my rebound, and she was also the first person I met on a dating website, and the first person I even like really got to know after my long relationship. So yeah, definitely was
Aw.
very quick and yeah, but it lasted.
Randy, what about you?
I also liked relationships when I was younger, and then in my 20s I lived in Las Vegas, and it was hard to be in a relationship. So I fell into, casual relationships. And then I finally moved out to Vegas or to LA. And I was like, okay, this is it. Like, I know what I want. And so instead of trying to fall into what I thought I could, I was like, I'm going to go for what I want, which was to be married and have kids and,
Yeah, our
the
third
picture
date.
story.
Yeah, you do.
What?
I was saying
Your third date?
Our third date, I asked her when she wanted to have kids, and she literally responded I asked her how old she wanted to be, and she responded with an age 2 years younger than she was. So that was on our third date.
So now.
She had already, we were already behind apparently, and we
Honesty.
just met. Yeah. So
Did that
That's
not
funny.
scare you, Jess?
no, I wanted kids too. I mean, we were, in our 30s, and it was actually no, I was turning 30, right? Yeah, I was turning 30 right when we met. And I was at that point. I wanted kids. I wanted a life together with somebody. So it wasn't scary. It was a little like, wait a minute, you mean like yesterday you wanted kids? But wasn't that scary.
Now, let me also say that my dating profile was very honest and was basically an entire paragraph of like, this is what I want my life to be like. So if you feel like you want it to be in that same scope of things, like we can talk. But it was like, I want a modest house. I want a backyard. I want 2 dogs. I want kids. I want, you know what I mean? And it was like my first attempt at being like, I was just writing down what I wanted out of life. to hope
Yeah.
to like snag somebody who was like, hey, that all sounds really good.
Interesting. I'm curious though, was there a lot of responses to that?
No, and most of the responses were pretty vulgar that did come through. I had probably 2 other responses that were even, palatable as not a hookup kind of thing.
Wow.
But I figured if I just put it out there, I would get something. And
Well,
I did.
how did you respond to that, Jessie?
I had pretty much the same thing. I mean, I had written like an essay basically of where I was at in life and what I wanted. It was way too much information. I even joked with a lot of my friends. They thought I put way too much information in my dating profile. And it was really like, you had to sit there and read it and be very interested in getting to the end of it, or it just wasn't going to happen. And I had the same thing. I probably, maybe 3 or 4 people at all responded to that. And one of them, this worked out really well with.
I do say though, he messaged me first.
Right.
And so I had to go and click on his profile to see what it was like, and saw it. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's a lot. There's a lot to read here. And I almost was like, no, I'm just not going to read it. And then I was like, I'll just read it and see. And he made me laugh in like the first 3 lines of his profile. So that was a big one for me.
That's fair.
Laughter.
So
laughter. It's huge.
So in a relationship, in a site that is not known for having relationships, it's a hookup site. You were the only 2 fish that wanted relationships and found each other.
And it was funny too, because I was also on another dating website. What was the other one?
OkCupid.
OkCupid. And if you've never been on there, that's one of those ones where you answer a bunch of questions. And before we had ever met, we were on the phone. And I said, we need to go on this website that I'm on, and I want you to answer all of my questions. Because I was like, what a great way to kind of like immediately find out if you're compatible, because it has all of those questions. And we were pretty high up there, like in the mid 80s, I think, percentile, like, compatibility.
Wow.
It was like 120 questions.
Yeah, I answered a lot of questions. I
God, you guys weren't kidding. You were like, no, we really want to make sure we're compatible, and then we can go on a date.
I mean, I think we both had been in relationships that didn't work. So it's like either you just put it all out there and it is what it is, and either they have some interest in your, can I swear, bullshit, or they don't.
It's in the title.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So either they want your bullshit or they don't. You have to make that decision, right?
Yeah,
completely.
Yeah. Well, that's how Jessie is, though. When they were planning the wedding, it was Jessie that I planned the wedding with, not Randy.
I don't know what you're talking about. You weren't saved in my favorites on my phone for like 4 years because we spent every waking moment talking for 6 months. Yeah. Yes.
And I always, for the longest time, I was all like, oh my God, I hope Randy isn't like freaked out about the fact that I never talked to her about her wedding.
We're good.
And she was like, no, I'm fine. I'm all good. I think we cried at the wedding and was like, can we all stay friends?
Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah. And then now, fast forward, 10 years later, you have 2 gorgeous boys.
Yes.
How old are they now?
Pretty great. 6 and 4.
I actually believe that Jessie and Randy got pregnant on their wedding night.
I believe we did also.
Yes, that's the theory. That's for sure.
My first child's due date was exactly 9 months from my wedding day.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh!
He came a little early, which was kind of sad, but it was okay.
Oh my gosh, that's very cool.
Yeah. That's I have to say that I'm in awe of the 2 of you always. Whenever I think about, that there's a possibility that there's somebody on a site there for me, because the reason why I'm on the site is probably the same reasons for you. I don't go to bars to find somebody.
Right.
I work a lot. I'm not going to date my clients. They're getting married.
Right.
I'm not going to date the best men because that's a no. And everybody else around me is either in a relationship, married, or not someone I'd ever date. So whenever I think about, can this really happen? I think of Jessie and Randy, and I'm like, yes, relationship goals.
Well, and I ended up on the dating website because, so I own a car shop and I do all the car shows, and there's always models there. And the girls at the car show that I did would always be like, oh, I'm on this dating website. I'm on this dating website. One of them actually helped me sign up for the dating website because I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. So she signed me up on the dating website to go meet Randy, apparently.
Oh my
Aw.
gosh. Oh, that's so cute.
Women
So-
helping women.
I
Yes.
know. I think it's awesome. So Jessie, tell everybody what your shop is.
Oh, I own an aftermarket accessory shop in Woodland Hills, California, like wheels and tires and all the Pimp My Ride stuff. Anything that's fun for a car.
And Randy works there with you now, right?
Yes.
Do.
I
Randy
love
saved me from my own self. I didn't know what QuickBooks was. And she showed up and was like, spreadsheets are definitely old news. You need to use a computer. So thank God for her.
Everything was on an Excel spreadsheat.
It was bad.
Wow.
Bad.
See?
So, yes, she's
You're
definitely my other
perfect for
half.
each
That's
other.
for
I
sure.
was needed for other reasons too.
Yes. It was a
Yeah, I
saving
don't think
grace,
you're
that's
going to
for
have
sure.
those boys without her.
Right. No. And now I'm just going to get them to work. That's the next one. So, like, she'll do the
Perfect.
back end, and I got to get them wrenching on cars. And that'll be
That's
great.
right.
Mhm.
Got to buy them little tools for Christmas.
Oh, they
Yeah.
have a lot of tools. Already. They have a lot of everything.
So what's the future for the two of you?
No more children. We're
Okay.
good at two.
Look at Randy's face. Did you see that look she just gave him?
She's like, no.
Well, she like tells me right now we're pregnant or something on air. That'd be great,
Yeah.
right?
No, that
Yeah.
was no, I'm not
Oh
going
my
to.
God, please. So Randy, did you want more kids?
Initially, when I was younger, yes. Now, where I'm an adult and I understand life,
Mhm.
and I have 2 children, I'm great. We're good. We both have 2 hands. We have 2
Yes.
kids. Everything is nice and even, and they're happy. We're happy. So
I always like the idea that one of us can always pay attention to one kid, and we're never going to be outnumbered, and they're never going to get slighted because somebody was too busy to pay attention to them. So
That's nice. I like that.
when we
That's really cool.
when we did meet, I told him I wanted 5 kids. So
she said 5.
Wow.
and I did.
Oh my
I come
God.
from a small town, so everybody just got married and had a bunch of kids, and that's what you did.
I can explain it better. She's an only child, so she did not know what
That's-
having siblings was like, and
Oh.
5 kids is a lot of kids.
Yeah. But it sounds fun.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So tell me, guys, what do you think is the secret to your loving marriage?
Open, brutal honesty.
Yep.
All the time. Even if it's something we don't want to talk about. Even this morning we had a conversation and I said, I don't want to talk to you about this, but I want to talk to you about everything. So I'm going to talk to you about this morning. And it was something so silly as a bad dream, but like, it was just having that complete open dialogue all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. And then what's your take on romance, Jessie?
Yeah, well, it has got to be. I mean, we go on a date once a week, once every other week, when we can get a babysitter. And, I mean, it's definitely not what it was, as you guys talked about with the last couple, the honeymoon stage. I mean, I remember our first Valentine's Day, I made her a Valentine, like a heart out of cardboard and decorated it. And, that I don't do that anymore. I mean, life happens, you get busy, but, I try and try to at least think of her instead of just doing things. I'd say I think the biggest thing is that there's very little things that I do throughout a day that I don't think of her first before I do them. Whether it's going to the store on my way home, it's, hey, do you want me to get you a drink or something? It's at least putting that person into the thought process every single time.
Absolutely. Good job.
I'll tell you what, I owe you guys a babysitting night.
You
Yeah,
do?
Yes.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll tell you the secret to get me to do that. You have to
Is
reach
it-
out
is
to
it
me
still-
2 weeks in advance.
Yeah.
I would say it's store your
Done.
trailer in front of our house for 3 years is how we,
Yes,
we do
that's a
that.
good one. Yes, yes. I had a camper trailer that I refurbished, and
It was
moved,
awesome though.
and I had no place to put it. And these guys let me put it in their driveway for freaking
Yes.
like forever.
Oh
until
my
I
Yes.
gosh. Good friends. Good friends.
It's very good friends. Yeah, reach out to me 2 weeks in advance,
That's fair.
and I'll come and babysit.
We can do that. We can totally
I
do
love that. And anything to contribute to love.
Yes.
I love
we try. We try to keep it fresh and at least present in life,
Well, the two of you are amazing, and you really are an inspiration. And I can't thank you enough for coming on today. It means a lot to me. I love the positivity. I love the love. And you guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
think you're awesome.
And if anybody's in LA and they need to pimp their ride or get something cool for their car, you got to go to Coastline and see Jessie and Randy.
Yes, shameless plug. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, anything to help my friends. Seriously, I love you guys. Well, thank you for being here today. I'm going to let you guys go, and we're going to bring on the next couple. So thanks for being here.
Yes, of course.
Bye.
Bye. Aren't they beautiful?
So sweet. I love Jessie. He's just like the romantic and just really wants to like be that loving husband. And she's like, okay.
She is. I like the way she looks at him. I've always thought that was really important, the way she looks at him. And even he says, I don't do the silly little romance things that we did, in the beginning, but I think he does really romantic things for her in other ways. And I think that's really important.
They sound very thoughtful for each other, to each other.
Well, we have another couple. Our last and final couple today is Jason. He happens to be our sound engineer for this show. And when we were talking, in earlier episodes, he was like, I married my wife from a dating site. So Jason and Melissa had their first official date December 12th, 8 years ago. And they met on JDate.
Love it.
Don't you love that? And then after 3 years of being together, Jason was able to convince Melissa to marry him. No, I'm just kidding. They got married. I think she's probably really thrilled with Jason. July of 2016 is when they got married, and now they have their three-year-old son Jordan. Let's welcome Melissa and Jason. Hi.
Hey.
How are you guys? Look at that. Jason's at work.
I'm at work, so.
Melissa's at work too, taking care of our little guy. Hi, Melissa. It's so nice to meet you. Is she
Melissa,
have
are
her
you there?
sound on?
Yep. I can hear Jordan, so.
Hi, Jordan. So you guys met on JDate, is that right?
Yep, we met on JDate.
I don't know if you can hear us.
Yes, Melissa, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Oh, maybe she can't hear us.
Maybe she can't hear us.
Hold on. Let me see if I can message her. I'm going to go off camera for a second, but.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think she can hear us yet.
Do you have experience with JDate, Jackie?
No, I've never done JDate. I'm not Jewish, so I kind of felt like maybe that's not where I should be going, just in case, because a lot of guys are like, no, I really want to marry a Jewish girl. And
do you know what's crazy?
Not a shiksa.
It's I date a lot of Jewish men.
Interesting.
But not from JDate. So.
Well, I do love my Jewish men. I do. I have always had a thing for them.
I do too.
So,
I do too.
We're waiting for her to get back on. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. So maybe, Jason, you can tell us, what was your dating experience before you met Melissa?
For the most part, it was actually non-existent. Yeah, I was not in the dating scene when I was in high school and college. Somehow it just never fit in for me.
Okay.
I had dated a little. I had a little bit of experience while I was in college, but the relationship didn't work. We were on two different mindsets at the time, and basically, I decided to go to JDate because I wanted to find somebody that was Jewish. It was kind of that traditional guilt trip that I was getting growing up. And it was the first question that had been asked, is she Jewish? And Melissa, make sure that your mic is unmuted because I can't do it for you. So if you can hear me. So, I had gone on a couple dates on JDate beforehand, and it didn't work. And Jackie, you'll be very happy to know I'm actually a theater critic, so I review live theater.
Lovely.
That was one of the things that was very important to me. I had been on a couple dates. Most of them had been to shows because of the fact that I was so busy, seeing shows all the time. And a lot of the dates felt that I was dragging them to shows. And
jeez.
my
Not
theory
your
was,
girls.
no, I was like, we were going to like opening night and, it was suits and everything like that. And I'm like, if you realize the value of these tickets that we would normally be going to, it wouldn't be, that I'm dragging you to these things.
What was Melissa like when you met her? Was she excited to go to all the shows with you?
She's as big of a theater fan as I am. So,
I love that.
she actually had put that in her profile that she was a theater fan.
Oh,
nice.
good.
Yeah. So
Can Melissa hear us?
I think so. I don't know what's happening, but her mic is still muted.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
sad that we're.
It always has to be the audio engineer's person that has the sound issue. The other two
That's
couples
hilarious.
were great, but so it was, it was a different kind of relationship for us when we first started. We were really just talking, and her dad was sick when we had first started talking. So we were basically just texting for a year, back and forth. So we went out to lunch. I was on my way down to school. On the way, I stopped at a restaurant that was close to her. We talked and then went texting for about a year, before we finally decided to start dating. And 3 months after we started dating, he passed away.
Oh, wow.
And I had never met him. He did not want me to meet him. He didn't want it to have me get scared off. And there's my son upside down.
He's so beautiful.
There he is.
Hi there.
He's not talking though. So
No, they probably can't hear us.
I hope they can hear us. But so so 3 months after we started dating, he passed away, and it was kind of divine intervention, but everything kind of went fast forward at that time.
Yeah.
So her mother had basically, the day that he passed away, I was actually on my way home from school. So I quickly went over to her house, to see if she was okay. Her mother said, get her out of here. So she actually stayed with us for about 4 days. And funny enough that my side of the family, my grandfather was a funeral arranger. So he was a funeral director.
Oh, wow.
So, and my mom had grown up in it. So basically one of the first times that my mom met her mom was my mom helping her arrange the funeral for her father.
Wow, how ironic.
Families coming together. I love that.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's really what kind of sped everything up. And a bunch of people that I worked with basically had 14 months of our dating going, when are you proposing? It's like, you guys are always together. When is it going to happen? So.
Oh, I love that. Melissa, can you hear us?
Melissa, if you can hear us, on the lower left-hand corner, there's a mic. There's a little button that says mic. Just push that. Unless Jordan's pushing it.
No.
Nope.
Oh, I'm so bummed.
I'm sorry.
So no, don't be sorry. It's all good. We get to look at his cute forehead. So how do you think that it was different for Melissa? Has she ever said?
She had some relationships. I mean, it's kind of the same with me. That was, I mean, I know that she had been on dates and everything like that. She had a couple of dates on JDate before she met me. But I don't know if there was anything that was really serious. We didn't, honestly, for me, I got her. I don't care what happened beforehand. So.
Oh, I love that. You made a joke a few episodes ago to me. You said something about your friend and you were talking.
Yeah. So my friend went on JDate before me and had met a girl. I became friends with her because the two of us were in a kickball league together. So, we would drive down to all the games together and everything like that. And he had used a line on her to get them finally together. And I'm like, interesting. So I used the same line on Melissa, and now both of us are married. So
Nah.
What's that line?
The line was that our trial subscription was ending, and we needed to get their numbers to make sure that we could continue to talk.
Oh, jeez. Hey, it's unique. I've never
Yep.
heard it before.
That's funny.
Aw, she dug it.
Yep.
She did. So, you guys have been married for how long now?
5 years.
And it's great.
It is, we of course, like every, the other two couples, it's a roller coaster. We have our issues. It's been there was stuff that I knew a little bit about going in that I wasn't fully expecting. But it's kind of made our bond stronger.
I love that.
And now you can see you have a fresh head of hair on the lower left-hand corner now.
Aw.
So it's great. My dad left when I was 5, and I swore that if I ever had a child, that I would never have him go through what I did. And he's amazing. I would do anything for the two of them.
So what do you guys do to keep the romance alive in your relationship?
It's kind of hard, and I think that's the true out of everybody. I mean, she's a preschool teacher. She loves what she does. But unfortunately the state and the company don't appreciate them as much. So I actually work 4 jobs.
Wow.
So I don't get a lot of time to keep the romance alive, but it's just having that time together that we make important. So for us, when we go to shows, even just, the nice thing is, like, for the past couple months, I've been taking her to work every morning. So it's just that, even if it's just a 15 minutes, just because right now she's not able to drive, but the 15 minutes or 20 minutes that we have together, we just try to make sure that, that's the important time for us. It's the same thing with Jordan. It's like, he's asleep when I leave for work. A lot of times he's asleep when I come home, but he comes up and comes up in the middle of the night and lays down with us, and just to make sure that time is important to him, and he knows that everything that I'm doing is for the two of them.
Yeah,
I love that.
I think that's pretty romantic.
I think it is too. I think time is very, very romantic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Oh, well, thank you, Jason. Tell Melissa that we're so sorry we didn't get a chance to ask her.
You'll have to have her on again. So
yeah, I would love to have
it.
her on.
So
we'll
have to make sure that works, and see if we can get her either over to the studio or make sure that we have it set up for her.
Yeah, I love that. I would love to talk to her and maybe talk about, what it's like to find her person on J-Date of all places. I love it.
I mean, it was funny. So that was the time when, like, Farmers Only and Christian Mingle and all that stuff was out. It's so
yeah. I love it. So what's next for you guys?
Well, I mean, and I just actually started getting back in acting, so it's for me it's a lot more performing. Cool. I mean, we're not going to have any more kids. I'm almost 40, and she's, unfortunately, not that far behind. But it's just, making sure that we're happy. We're looking for a house for us, and just really trying to, make sure that we're in a position financially comfortable that, I can have more time with him and with her.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Well, thank you, Jason, for being here today.
You're welcome.
Not always, you're here every time to support me, and I truly, truly appreciate you. We couldn't do this without you.
It's a fun show.
Also, tell your lovely family that they're just absolutely gorgeous, and we wish you guys an amazing future.
Thank you.
So we're coming to the end of the show. Jackie, what do you have for our listeners today?
In regards to finding the one, or
yeah.
So I really truly believe, like, the first step to finding the one is to really making sure you know who you are. And
yeah. Oh my gosh, did I lose you?
We lost her. It's probably just the internet connection.
Oh, darn it. Well, she's right, though. It really is knowing who you are, and it's really knowing, where you are in life and what you need in your life to be that solid partner for the other person. I always felt like if I focus on me and I'm happy, then I can make my partner happy, because I'm then able to give my love for myself into that person, and that person could, be there for myself. So anyway, I can't thank Jackie enough for being here. I'm so sorry we just lost her, but we want to say thank you for being here today. Please tell your friends about us, follow us, review us, and you can find us on 50 Shades of Bullshit. The 50 is always spelled out in anything that you look for us. So it's 50 Shades of Bullshit on Facebook. It's 50 Shades of _ Bullshit on Instagram. You can also find us on the app for K4HD Radio. And it's K4HD Radio on Facebook and K4HD.com. They're an amazing place that a radio station that hosts us. And if you'd like to be a guest or want to send me your dating stories and I can read them on our listeners' episodes, you can do that by emailing me at 50 Shades of Bullshit. And it's 50 spelled out, and shit is SHYT at gmail.com, because Gmail will not let me say shit. Anyway, thank you so much, Jackie, one more time. And to all my guests who were here today, they're all beautiful and they all inspire me to find my person. And thank you for hanging in there with us today. And we can't wait to see you next week. Please come back, same time, same place. And until then, keep it real. If you enjoyed this episode, please share with your friends, like and follow us on Instagram at 50 Shades of _ Bullshit and Facebook at 50 Shades of Bullshit. Thanks so much for listening, and we really hope to see you again next week.